What's up, losers? This is Brian with Middle-Aged Losers, the biggest loser of them all, arguably. And, oops, left my Flux up there, damn it. Just ignore that. If you want to see a video about a Flux, I'll post a link to that, but freaking awesome. Anyways, back to my P365. I have been carrying this thing for well over 1,000 days. I got it brand new when they first came out in 2019. Fell in love with it as a micro compact because, if you might know, shooting a micro compact is often not very fun, especially when you're used to a full size. I carry an X5 Legion also. That's usually more of like my outside the waistband type of carry in the winter. But honestly, I just prefer to carry my P365. And since the X Macro grip module came out, I actually switched my P365 over to the X Macro grip in the winter for just a better grip on that pistol. It's just really changes the way it feels when you're firing it. You can get really good support hand on there as well. So after carrying my P365 for 1,000 days, there are definitely different systems and different ways of carrying it depending on what I'm wearing, where I'm going, and what I'm doing. And there isn't really a one size fits all holster that solves the problem for every situation. So over my experience, I've kind of whittled it down to maybe 5-6 holsters that I really, really love. I know 5 or 6, right? But that's because I switched my P365 to the X Macro, and because of that, I'm doubling a lot of my holsters because the X Macro has a wider trigger guard than the traditional P365. Why they did that, God, I don't know. So with that being said, my number one choice for holsters is definitely the hybrid. I love the way the leather feels up against me, and I appreciate the additional safety aspect of the hybrid Kydex. A lot of guys will say, oh my God, the leather wears out, gets soft, and then you have potential trigger guard issues. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I've had this one for 3 years, and I've worn it very consistently for a while. The leather is soft, but it doesn't get anywhere near the trigger. But I also got my P365 with a manual safety because I was concerned with carrying it at appendix, worried about my dick. So this hybrid holster that I'm using is from Crossbreed. Highly recommend it. I think this one is called the Defender. This is the same exact holster except for cowhide, and the this fits the X Macro, and then this fits the P365. And so my X Macro grip module fits in there, and then my P365 fits into here. So the second choice I have, and the reason I like the hybrids is because if you're going to carry for a long period of time, like more than 5 or 6 hours, I highly recommend you get the hybrid. That leather on you is going to allow you to comfortably carry for a long period of time. Kydex holsters, freaking love them. They feel good. The click in, the click out, the safety aspect of that. You feel like your pistol is secured when you're carrying this. So like if I'm doing anything that involves like movement, or where I might have to jog down the street to catch up to my wife, this is the holster I'm going to carry. I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to carry it at appendix. And I love these Kydex from LAG Tactical because they come with both looped outside the waistband straps, and then they come with a really awesome hook system on the... I got it in there pretty good. So these little hooks, you can take them off and on, which is really nice for public restroom use. And like I said, that Kydex, I love the click and the solid feel of it. So yeah, I'm using the X Macro grip for outside the waistband a lot of the times, because inside the waistbands it does feel a little tight, and but I do prefer the X Macro outside the waistband right here at about 3 or 4 o'clock. And when I'm carrying that outside the waistband, I will also carry either 2 additional mags or one additional mag. And the reason I do that is because it counterbalances my hips. And in the winter, you know, why not carry more magazines if you can? Nobody has ever wished they didn't bring more. So this is my single inside the waistband clip. And as you can see here, you can just drop it, boom, right next to it. And I've seen a lot of like tier 1 holsters, actually crossbreed the Defender series. You can get a wing here that attaches a magazine to it. But honestly, having it where it's not completely attached, I think is more comfortable. And the reason is like sometimes I can take this out, throw it in my backpack, or ask my wife to hold it in her purse. But most of the time I just leave it right there. And as you can see, it's extremely concealable, and I got one extra magazine, good to go. And this system is flexible. I can take this off, I can move it over to the side like so. So there's different ways of carrying it. If I'm wearing 5'11" pants or 5'11" shorts, I'll drop it in that extra magazine pouch that's right there next to the wallet pocket, and then just ditch the whole magazine holder here altogether. But if I'm doing extra carry, that's how I do it. So my last, I would say, technical Kydex type holster is one of those minimalist style ones. So as you can see here, it just goes right over the trigger guard and has a wing to press the handle into your body. And then you have a nice little belt loop. And I love this one for on the go. Quick, just run to the gas station and back. This is the holster I appreciate for that if I'm wearing jeans and a belt. Now, it just pulls right out. Now, you can't reholster it with it in. I definitely would not recommend that. So you got to pull the whole holster out, reholster that way. That's probably the biggest downfall. This is a good holster to keep in your glove box of your vehicle. And then that way, if you get to a federal building or something where you have to holster the vehicle, leave it inside of, or holster your weapon and leave it in the vehicle, you can just put that right over the trigger guard, drop it in your glove box, and you're good to go. And my last holster, and one that I thought I would never, ever use, is this really awesome belly band. Lately, as I get older, middle-aged losers, right? I prefer to wear sweatpants. So if I'm going to the gas station, honestly, this is primarily my setup. I love this particular holster, and I'll show some close-ups of these, because it has this nice solid plastic cap that goes over the trigger guard area, and it does a pretty good job with some stitching to kind of force it into that area. And when this thing is in my gym shorts, I'm telling you, it presses so well you can't tell I have it at all. And it's a pretty quick it's pretty quick access to get to it. And then this thing actually comes with 2 additional magazine holders on each side. All right, P365. Super diverse weapon system. I hope if you have one, you enjoy it too. But honestly, this video isn't necessarily about the P365. It's more about how many holsters you should have. And in my opinion, it should be like women with shoes. You need to have several different types, several different kinds, and honestly, you'll learn which ones and what situations you prefer. Sometimes I even carry it in a bag. I don't have that on me, but there are times when I put it in like a man purse, and I have videos of that with my Flux Raider. So if you're starting out, and I think don't get an Uncle Buck's cloth freaking holster that hangs off the hip at like a 45-degree angle. Oh my gosh, that's so cringe. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Spend some money on a good quality holster. If I was just to get into carrying, and the reason I went hybrid is because I'm comfortable carrying. I've been carrying for several years on a daily basis. But if I was to get into carrying on a daily basis, I would start with a full Kydex holster, especially if you don't have a manual safety. Get you a full Kydex holster and start carrying. Carry every day. Make a promise to yourself. It is our duty and responsibility as firearm owners that are trained and proficient with our weapon systems to keep them on us at all times and be ready to defend innocent people. So if you ask me, cowabunga it is. Be ready all the time. And using a full Kydex holster, I think you'll feel more confident, more safe, and that will help you get more confident in carrying on a daily basis. And those also do a really good job of hiding it from printing. And I'm not gonna like specifically point you to a certain brand because I think that also depends on your personal taste. Tier 1 holsters make some really expensive ones, but I hear they're amazing. Not for me. I like Crossbreed and LAG Tactical, so those are the ones I use. And then this Bass Pro Walmart-like belly band, which actually is awesome, which I use because I have a manual safety. But if it was down to me, start with Kydex, then get you a hybrid, and then definitely get a belly band. You know, just if you're buying a firearm, I think you should also buy like 2 or 3 different holsters right off the bat and start there. I think that's a good starting point. Here's a drawing from Appendix with a hybrid holster. Drawing from full Kydex. Last one will be from the Minimalist Trigger Guard holster, and you should be practicing with all of your holsters that you have. Every single one. Just get that draw down as best as you possibly can. And you can do this right in your basement with dry fire. Just make sure you point it in a safe direction. All right. I don't want to fight. Remember, don't reholster with this one. Don't forget, you don't want to reholster with this in your band, and trust me, it doesn't feel good. It feels pretty unsafe doing it that way. So if you're using a minimalist holster, take it out of your waistband, apply it, and then put it back. My buddy Dimitri, part of the channel, he's going to be putting out a video on a Dragunov. Oh my gosh, this thing is amazing, and I feel honored that we get to shoot it all the freaking time. Like, how cool is that? So stay tuned, because that video is going to be sweet. You're going to learn things about that rifle that you didn't know. Like, I've known him for several years, and he still teaches me shit. So get ready for that wild ride. Like, subscribe, and share. Again, this is Brian with Middle Aged Losers, out.